this is Total Warhead, and in this video, I want to showcase how to build fighter vanquishers in a Total War Saga Troy. So, I actually made one for fighter champions before this, and I said that fighter champions were great for 1v1 and boosting melee units. When I compare it to the fighter vanquisher, I would say that the fighter champion is even better for 1v1 capabilities, and then this guy is even better for boosting up his own units. So if we go here, right, why would I actually say that? So if I look, oh, there's the wrong guy. So anyways, you might have seen that momentarily. The fighter champion has access to cleave, which further boosts up his own offensive capabilities and provides him stamina. So overall, in a prolonged engagement, he would more than likely do better than a fighter vanquisher, given the differences in having that skill cleave for the fighter champion versus the fighter vanquisher. What the fighter vanquisher gets, though, on the other hand, is something extremely nasty, which is terrify, which costs 75 rage, and you can lower this with the skill that lowers rage cost for skills. But this is a minus 30 morale penalty, and you can get the upgrade that also lowers the melee defense by minus 15. So if you're facing a really strong unit in a choke that you want to break, or like in a siege, that can really help you basically tilt it in your favor, the engagement, to break the enemy unit that is preventing you from moving forward. It is extremely underrated how valuable it is to get skills to break units at sieges when they're like at the walls or in choke points, when they're really preventing you from moving forward. So terrify is an extremely valuable skill that lets you do that. Now, what else would I give this guy? So first off, Vanquish he already has, just like the fighter champion, so this really helps his own units overall. Next, this is where he comes in handy and with crazy overall with a crazy overall skill. So Blood Sacrifice lets him give to his own units more AP damage, morale, and weapon damage, and it also lets him get more rage when activated, and lets him actually get rage when the skill is utilized. Note though that this has a health cost when you use it, and that is a big steep penalty that you need to manage. Aside from that, I also give him assault and battery, so he does a lot of AP damage, and I get the rage cost upgrade, so it only costs 2 per turn, and he can keep this activated with his rage gain during combat. So overall, he is strong enough to 1v1 other heroes, maybe not of course some of the epic ones if they're high level, but in the game, you'll notice that your character tends to be more high level than the epic or generic heroes of the AI. So even this guy could potentially handle a lot of the heroes in the game, even though he's not as strong as, say, the fighter champion in 1v1s. So how else would I basically structure him? Let's go one by one via all the skills. So there's a lot of right side skills that I select until I get to terrify. So I'll go for the assault and battery for the extra AP damage for himself. I go for Blessing of Heeb, so he gets some fatigue reduction, and that helps his statistics stay up, and also get more charge bonus. I also go for the charge and stamina upgrade to further amplify these bonuses. I also go for Collector to get more treasures, or aka resources, after a battle, and then I would prefer to go for the battle captives taken, so I replenish better after battle. For Ambassador of Hermes, I want to go for starting cap, or sorry, for her recovery. It's so weird. Sometimes some of these heroes, these two are flipped in order, and I don't understand why that happens, but it's just how the structure is. So definitely for recovery, so I get additional fatigue reduction for all of my units because I really want them to maintain their statistics in prolonged engagements. Then I give him heavy weapons, so he gets a total with the upgrade of 60% more AP damage, which is crazy. Next, I don't want to give him Divine Challenge. I want to give him Terrify to break chokes and further help out the offensive units that I have so they don't get bogged down against a unit holding a situation. Next, I want to help him gain more rage because Terrify causes a lot of rage to utilize, so definitely want to make sure that I have enough to use this, and also be able to maintain the 2 per turn rage cost of assault and battery. After that, I want to keep boosting up the statistics of my unit, especially damage, because I have the Blood Sacrifice ability that also or helps me boost my AP damage and weapon damage of my own units. So here, instead of going for the charge bonus increase, I go for the damage increase for my units. After that, I go for Asclepion's method to get more casualty replenishment, and with the allied territory upgrade to boost casualty replenishment in my own territories. then next. So this one, I say that it's an up and down which one you want to go for. If you feel like you're gonna put this guy into very dangerous situations and you're gonna have prolonged engagements with blood sacrifice, note that this costs 700 health to utilize and you don't get this back, except that you actually can if you don't go for combat mastery that lowers rage cost and cooldown of abilities, and instead you go for battle veteran regeneration, so you can gain back. And let's say how many seconds, 10, 100, maybe like 150, I think. No, 140 total seconds, I think. You gain back the 700 health cost from this ability of blood sacrifice. So definitely, I think battle veteran might be a better utilization here, if you, in case you don't want your general to be taken out because you've been using this skill blood sacrifice too many times. Note that it only has a 30-second cooldown, so you could pop this many times and you only have so much health, so you can't really utilize it so much if you keep losing health. So I would say that even though I selected combat mastery here after thinking it out loud in this recording, I would say that battle veteran is the better determination to go for. Now for blood sacrifice, there is two big differences here. So the upgrade 1 reduces the cost of health from 700 to 350, basically dropping it to a safer margin. I'd say that it's worth going for the actual morale and damage upgrade, because now instead of getting 15% and 20% to AP damage and weapon damage respectively, you get 10% more across each statistic. So you get 25% more AP and 30% more weapon damage for your units. And it's, you know, if you really think about this, about damage is great to always boost, unlike, for example, melee attack and melee defense, because if you keep boosting up your melee defense and melee attack over and over and over again, it gets to a point where your unit can hit the max cap of hit chance, which I think is 95%. Damn it, I forgot what the value is. You can definitely get to the high percentile from the hit chance equation, which is 35 plus melee attack minus melee defense. Once you keep getting your melee attack high enough, I mean, you're not gonna engage units where you're gonna engage units where you're gonna have a 95% or higher hit chance in result from that equation. So I would say that boosting up damage is more helpful, so you inflict more damage and you don't keep adding up in other abilities to melee attack and melee defense. I really like going for this, and this will actually give me more rage, helping further be able to utilize terrify over and over and over again. Actually, now that I think about this, why would you go for combat mastery? If you look at the cooldowns of all the abilities of this general, they're all very low cooldowns, 30 seconds, 67, 30. So most definitely go for battle veteran here. Finally, I do go for the melee attack here, since there are more units in the army than, for say, missile units. So definitely want to go for this upgrade, unless I've been boosting up melee attack so much on my units that then I would go for Follower of Artemis upgrade to boost up any missile units that I have in the army. Finally, the last one I have, or to select, if you look at the skills that are here, right, you notice that none of them get affected by being dismounted. So I would say that for this guy, it is good to give him reinforced melee chariot, so he does a lot of damage to units with his splash attack on a chariot, and he can adjust to use terrify in different locations throughout the battlefield to break important units, and also be able to adjust because the blood sacrifice is an AoE of 40 meters around himself, so you want him to move as fast as possible to other locations in the map in order to reach other units, you know, or units of your own army. So anyways, that is it for this hero. Really good for supporting his own army, boosting up their offensive capabilities, breaking a choke unit or a siege unit that you're climbing a wall against or holding a choke in the siege, and also just becoming an overall killing machine in 1v1 situations and on a chariot. So I really want to thank you for watching, and I sincerely hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.